Good morning, intrepid travellers. This morning I'm here in Canberra. I'm actually in the suburb across from mine in Coombs, and I'm going to be doing the Molonglo River Track to the lookout today. So I'm starting here at the furthest ponds in Coombs. So this is the first one, and we're going to head over there and then head out to the Molonglo River, and the walking track follows the river all the way to a couple of lookouts. It's a short walk, but it's a way to escape the city. So the further we get that way, the further from the main road we're going to get. And yeah, it's a beautiful morning. It's just gone 7:30 and it's 0 degrees according to my phone. So that's why I'm all rugged up this morning. So let's get started. So this section here of the trail is actually paved. A lot of the areas around the lakes are paved because people come out here and walk their dogs, play with the kids. It's set up like you can swim in these ponds, but you can't, so don't take a dip because there's some sort of bacteria in the water. But once we get to the river, there is going to be more of a hiking style trail. So I have my hiking poles and I'm set to go. So I just had a lovely stop down here by the river, and I actually met a local from Coombs, and he suggested instead of going along the trail on that side of the river to go down this side. He said it's a lot more close to nature, it's a lot prettier, and there is a crossing before the main conservation area for the main trail I wanted to walk today. So some of you probably think it's overkill that I've got a hiking pole out, but if you haven't been on my channel before, I have a permanently degraded bone in my foot. So walking was one of those activities that I wasn't going to do again, which broke my heart after wanting to walk a second Camino de Santiago, but I was able to take up mountain biking. But what I've learnt on my hike last week was borrowing my mum's pole. It actually offloaded a lot of the weight off that bone. When I walk, it helps me balance so I'm not stabilizing on the bone, so I can walk a lot further. So today is actually a big test because I imagine it's going to be somewhere in the 8 to 10 kilometer ballpark, which is going to be one of the longer walks I've done in the last, say 6 years. So that's why I walk with poles. I have my other pole too, in case it gets rough on this very flat walk. I didn't even have this hill climb in it, but it's definitely worth it because you can look down on everything. So yeah, that's me and poles. It's funny, after just speaking about the Camino, this section of trail here actually is really reminiscent. You've got kind of the shrubiness of the area, you do have civilization close by, but you kind of out on your own, which is awesome. So behind me we have the Molonglo River, and as you can see here, there's beautiful new trees that have just been planted, and that's something Canberra's really good at. It's planting trees. It's a good thing because it gets very hot here. So I've just stopped here. Found a beautiful little bench under some pine trees. So I'm in the shade, it's really relaxing. I'm in the conservation area again now. And as we get closer, it's gonna be more and more conservation area. We're gonna go back out onto a fire road, like a gravel trail again in a minute. Not like what we're just walking on. And then we'll go up a hill and then we'll be in full conservation area for the rest of the walk. But as I sat down, just over here, there's a few little kangaroos and they're really alert. So I've made it to the first viewing platform and picnic shelter, and just here, where is he? There's a big kangaroo, and I really wish I had my good camera with me so I could zoom in and get a good shot. But he's massive. He'll be taller than me when he's on his back legs for sure. I'm getting into some boggy stuff here, but I'm now on the grassland track, which is my final track today. We've got about 2 kilometers out to a lookout and then about 2 kilometers back. And as you can see, it's a little boggy. we are at shelter number 2 and it's another beautiful viewing point. So they're great picnic areas, but next stop we are going to head up to the lookout up here, which is the perfect place for sunset. So if you're just here for the view and you don't want to do the hike, I suggest you go to the lookout that we're about to go to now, because it is magic at sunset, because you get sunset over Mount Stromlo. So we're on the Woodland Track now, which is the final track for the day. So we're at the end, there's a lookout, then we turn around and come back the same way we came. And it's pretty cool. It's a lot hillier. All these walking tracks today, you just need an average level of fitness and you can jump off anytime for the most part. Good shoes, water, it's pretty beautiful. I'm here at Riverview Cottage. So the cottage was built in 1878 and it's one of the best preserved European mid-19th century settlements along the Molonglo River, which was originally settled by the Europeans in 1824. But it's important to remember, this land belonged to the Ngunnawal people. I don't know if I pronounced that right, so I'm really sorry if I've got it wrong, and please put in the comments how to pronounce it properly. But they were using this area 25,000 years ago. So they're the traditional owners of the land, but it's still pretty cool to find remnants of an 1878 building here on the Molonglo River. It's so beautiful here. I can hear the leaves blowing and it's just gorgeous, these massive trees. I haven't seen trees like this around this area before because it's all new suburbs, all the trees are new. So unlike the rest of Canberra where they've got big shady streets, the ones here, they still have their baby trees, about twice as tall as me, but they're not that big old ancient giant like the one behind me. It's beautiful. Let's keep going. So this right here is what 350 years looks like. Not me, I'm only 30, but check out this beautiful tree. So I made it here to the lookout at the end of the Woodland Track, and it is a there and back trail. And here, as you can see, the beautiful view, you can hear the river. It's a bit windier, but I actually think I like the other lookout a bit better because it didn't have the view of the urban areas where this overlooks Coombs, and where the grassland track lookout that I love for sunset, it just looks over the river and the conservation area, and it's really spectacular if you look down, but when you look out you're reminded that you're in the middle of a city. You probably noticed that I skipped the river access on the Woodland Track, and that's because I'm headed back there now to meet Joey, and I'm going to go sit down by the river for a little bit. Okay, so the start of the Woodland Track is just behind me, but we're going to go down to the river and meet Joey for a bit of an impromptu picnic, probably mostly snack food. So it's one of 2 chances to get down to the river on the grassland and woodland tracks, and I suggest you do it. I haven't been down to this point before, but it's always nice to get down to the river. So the Molonglo River goes for 115 kilometres. So on this walk, you're not even really covering a tenth of it. So there's lots more exploring to be done along the riverside here. And ooh, I can see Joey and I can see the river. And it is a stunning day. So that's a wrap on my walk through the Molonglo River Reserve. So like I said, this is less than 10% of the entire river, and it's been a really amazing morning mixing in a lot of different trails, and I really suggest you come and do it. It's an escape from the city within the city. Until next time, see you later.